Megan, I'm not gonna lie, I did not completely finish reading. I skimmed over the chapters, I got the gist of what happened, I know what happened, and I watched your video, so I confirmed that. I did a pretty thorough job, but I just did not give it my full attention. I had an absurd, almost laughably, eventful week. Well, as you know, last Thursday, I had a muscle spasm in my back, had to take some painkillers and stuff. That, issue persisted into last Friday and Saturday. And I also have been doing college-related things, applying and getting my transcripts sent over and stuff. And, okay, this is just really stupid, but, I had this huge, I can't believe I'm announcing this on the internet, I had this huge project for, AP Comp that I was supposed to, work on throughout the quarter, to pick a work of nonfiction and read it, and then write an essay on it. There wasn't a length requirement, but it was, she's like, but if it's only 1 or 2 pages, then you have a problem, because that's not how it's supposed to go. We have to address, what's the acronym is Class Pep, context, logos, audience, speaker, subject, pathos, ethos. There's one more. The other P. What is it? I don't remember. That's okay. Anyway, we were supposed to work on it throughout the quarter. I forgot about it until she said something about it last week and was like, "Oh, don't forget about your, reading assignment. It's my final project. It's 30% of my grade." And I hadn't even bought the book yet. I don't know how I so stupidly messed it up, but no, it didn't happen. And so for the past I got The Professor and the Madman, which was my thing, and I read it in 2 days, and I'm going to spend the next 2 days tirelessly writing an essay. Luckily, I can churn out 5-page essays in an hour, no problem, just because I like to talk a lot, you know this. So, hopefully this won't be that big of a deal for me. I need to acknowledge the class pep. What's the other P? This is going to bother me so much. Class pep, and acknowledge some rhetorical devices that he uses and stuff. I don't know. It doesn't sound that complicated, and I like to talk about books and think about books, and it was a decent book, I guess. The guy's writing style could be more interesting, but I don't know. It was a good story. Kind of sad at parts. It was interesting. Anyway, so that went down. I needed to blow my entire paycheck on Halloween costume things, because Rocky Horror Halloween is next weekend. You would not believe how many people I invited. I lost track, but there are 17 people coming, and they're going to be at my house, and we're all going as sexy Batman characters. That was our theme we decided on. And so I had to buy costumes for that, and what was else? Yeah, I think that's it. But back project, theater movement. I had a huge theater movement thing to work on, and one of our people in it, we only had 1 day to rehearse. One of our people in it, this total stoner guy, his brain is so fried. It's kind of sad, except he's such a douchebag that it's oh my god. He was absent for our 1 rehearsal day, so we had to update on him on his part. He had the easiest part possible. We had to update him on what he was doing and walk him through it, and because he's an imbecile, it took 25 minutes just to help him understand what he was supposed to be doing. Ugh, frustrating people. Okay, so I had 2 projects I was working on, back injury, and then my Rocky Horror costume, which I've been wanting to go as Harley Quinn for Halloween for the past 2 years, and I've never assembled a costume in time, so this is kind of high on my list of priorities. I'm I will get this costume together, and it will be amazing. And then I had to help Nick with his sexy Mr. Freeze. It's awesome. He has silver short shorts, and we're going to paint him blue. Anyway. But now to interview. I did read enough to know what's going on, and I definitely carefully read and reread that part with the two little boys, because I thought that was weird too. That was like, up till there, I had been reading pretty carefully, and then after that, I just started skimming it because I'm like, I don't have time for this. But I definitely was like, this is weird, and it just kind of confirmed my two other theories. One, that bloodsuckery is how vampires, like, is their equivalent to sex. It really seems that way by the way they describe it. And two, this Lestat has some childhood trauma issues. A lot of the time, people who, I mean, this is a real life moment, but a lot of the time people who sexually harass, I'm trying to phrase it nicely, who have sexual feelings and actions towards children are the result of some childhood trauma they suffered, and it's sad, but it's true. Not only are they like regressing, but they're like mixing feelings. Like, I mean, sexual feelings is a fairly adult concept, I guess. When you're a little kid, you're not really thinking about it. You're thinking about it, but not in terms of yourself. I mean, you're just learning what it is, and you're like, huh, that's weird and kind of gross. It's not like, oh, hey, this is a thing that people my age do. No. And when you're older, that's a thing, but I don't know, if you're regressing and kind of stuck back in childhood times, I don't know. I feel like mixing those two things, it's obviously a sign of childhood trauma and stunted emotional growth. This lighting is crazy. I'm sorry, it's kind of like yours was, except weirder, because this entire half of my face is like dark shadow Ezra, and this is like, hey, light. Not very flattering light either. Anyway, so childhood trauma for sure, and then just like the way they've been describing the blood sucking in this book so far. I mean, Anne Rice she does write erotic novels, so, I mean, and someone told me, when I told them I was reading Interview with the Vampire, they're like, isn't that a little racy? And I'm like, I don't know, I am 17, I know where babies come from, but reading it, I was like, there's no actual sex in here, but just the way she describes it, it just seems like an intimate act. That's the vampire equivalent of it. Do you watch True Blood? Because this comes to mind. I mean, I don't know. In True Blood, the two kind of go hand in hand with the vampires. Like, if they have a human who they're, getting it on with, they bite them. The human lets them bite them. Sometimes the humans like being bitten. And it varies on the vampire. Just like in this case, it does. Sometimes they have, close friends who they're like, I'm gonna suck his blood one day, but not yet, because he's my close friend. And sometimes they just go out and bring people home and are like, dead. But in True Blood, some of the vampires like crazy, rough, sex with the humans that are like one night stands, and sometimes they're in a committed relationship like the two main characters, and it's interesting stuff. It's a good show. I kind of like vampires, but not the sparkly kind. As for the burning things, I don't know, man. I think that's a symbol of something. Well, obviously it's a symbol for something, but what for? I would say something about leaving the past behind, but that's so cliche. I think, here's one. Now, I'm pulling this right out of my butt. Not literally, but I'm, just pulling this idea out of nowhere. But, maybe it's him avoiding his problems. Like, his issue at Point du Lac with all the uprisings happening and stuff, he just burns it down. His issues with, Lestat, Lestat is poisoned and Claudio's being a brat, burn it down. It's his way of avoiding his problems, shirking responsibility for his actions. I don't know, that's just something that, it's possible. I don't know. What do you think? Okay, so, for next week, reading up to that part sounds pretty good. And we're doing the trashy literature thing for the off weeks. I will search harder this time. for something, and I won't be on Vicodin, I promise you. I'm gonna go and do things, because I'm busy. I'm gonna work on my essay, or even maybe just eat some French toast, because I like French toast. Bye!